Tonight, I walk through the quiet hours, searching for a new wife, with a heart that still believes in destiny. The sky above me spreads like an open letter, written with stars I can barely understand. My past aches, but it does not stop me. It only teaches me how deeply a man can break and still rebuild. I whisper to the night that I am ready for softness, ready for loyalty, ready for a love that stays. Every road I walk feels like a prayer carved in dust, asking fate to guide my steps. I am not searching for perfection. I am searching for peace, for a soul that fits mine like forgotten music. My dreams rise again, slowly, like a wounded bird trying to fly after a long winter. Somewhere in this world, she breathes. She exists, my future companion, my quiet blessing. I imagine her smile before I have seen it, and it feels like sunlight placed carefully inside my chest. Loneliness does not scare me anymore. It only sharpens my hope for the woman who will walk beside me. The night wind carries secrets, and I listen closely, wondering if her name is hidden inside its sigh. My footsteps echo on the empty road, but in my heart, I hear two steps, as if she is already walking with me. Maybe she is praying somewhere, asking for a man whose scars match her own. Maybe she is tired of broken promises, tired of nights spent waiting for someone who never arrived. Maybe destiny is shaping us slowly, like a potter turning clay with patient hands. I tell my soul to stay calm, to trust the unseen paths that lead toward silent blessings. Every heartbreak I lived through was a lesson. Every tear I shed was a doorway to tomorrow. I am searching for a woman who understands storms, not one who fears the rain. Someone whose laughter can rebuild a ruined evening, whose presence can quiet every doubt. Someone who will not turn away when life grows heavy, who will hold my hand even when the world feels cold. Love is not a hunt, it is a meeting of two wanderers who finally stop walking. And somewhere, in a corner of time, she waits for me to arrive with my tired heart and hopeful eyes. I look at the horizon and wonder if she is looking at the same line of light, wishing for someone like me. The world feels wide, yet destiny knows how to guide two souls toward one another without a single mistake. Sometimes I feel her presence in the quiet moments, like a soft warmth touching the edges of my loneliness. Maybe she is dreaming of a man who listens, who cares, who carries love with honesty instead of pride. Maybe she is healing from her own memories, gathering the courage to open her heart again. I want to meet her gently, without rushing, without forcing the story, just allowing us to unfold. To hearts that have been hurt before must grow slowly, like flowers opening only when the sun feels safe. I imagine speaking to her with the softness I once forgot I had, telling her she is safe with me. I imagine her laughter becoming the music that fills the empty corners of my life. I imagine her voice calming the storms inside me, turning the chaos into quiet oceans. If love is a journey, then I am walking with patience, step by step, toward the one written for me. And though I have not seen her yet, my heart already recognizes the light she carries. Sometimes I wonder how many mornings will pass before fate finally leads her toward me. How many sunsets will paint the sky before she appears like a whisper, becoming real. Life moves slowly when the heart waits, yet every moment becomes a silent prayer for companionship. I do not seek a queen of perfection. I seek a partner of truth, someone whose soul feels like home, someone who understands the weight of silence, who feels the language of unspoken feelings. A woman who knows loyalty, not as a word, but as a way of breathing. A woman who stands beside me, not because she must, but because her heart chooses me every day. I want her kindness to be my comfort, and my strength to be her shelter. Two imperfect hearts, creating a perfect balance, teaching each other how to live, how to hope, how to love again. In my dreams, she sits beside me under a quiet sky, and the world finally feels complete. She does not erase my past. She simply becomes the reason I no longer fear the future. And somewhere in the unseen chapters of life, she moves closer with every heartbeat. There are nights when I speak to the stars, asking them to guide my longing toward the right soul. I tell them I am ready for a love that stays, a love that holds me the way daylight holds the dawn. My heart has traveled through storms, but it still carries a gentle hope untouched by bitterness. I believe somewhere she is wondering the same wondering. When her loneliness will finally soften, maybe she also lies awake, imagining a man who treats her heart with care, not with conditions. Maybe she is tired of half-love, tired of waiting for someone who never understood her worth. Promise myself that when she arrives, I will hold her with the gratitude of a man who knows loss. I will protect her like a treasure found after years of searching, not to possess her, but to cherish her life. We will write our story quietly, without the noise of the world, without the shadows of old wounds. For presence will feel like rain after drought, soft, refreshing, and necessary. I will smile again, without forcing it, because her love will rebuild the parts of me that forgot how to breathe. And in that moment, I will understand why every heartbreak before her had a purpose. Some evenings, I sit with my own silence, learning the shape of the emptiness I hope she will one day fill, not because I need someone to complete me, but because love feels different when it is shared. A cup of tea tastes warmer, shadows look softer, and even sadness becomes easier to carry. I imagine her footsteps approaching my life, gentle but certain, like destiny finally keeping its promise. I imagine her voice calling my name in a way no one ever has, steady, kind, and filled with quiet devotion. She will not have to be perfect. She only needs to be real, sincere, and willing to build a future with me. I want to learn her fears, understand her dreams. Hear every story she hides behind her smile. Together, we will rebuild trust that life once shattered. Piece by piece, day by day, she will pour her tenderness into my scars, and I will pour my loyalty into her hopes. And slowly, without rushing, our days will begin to blend. Her mornings becoming my comfort, my nights becoming her peace. The hearts that wandered alone for too long, finally, learning how to rest in each other's arms. I hold on to that image, because it reminds me that love is not lost, it is simply on its way. There are moments when the world feels too heavy, and I wish she were here to share the weight with me. Not to solve everything, not to fix every wound, but simply to sit beside me and remind me I am not alone. Love is not about perfection. It is about presence. A hand held in silence can sometimes heal more than 1,000 spoken promises. I imagine her sitting next to me, listening to my fears, without judgment, understanding the pain I never show. And in return, I imagine myself protecting her dreams, lifting her spirit when the world tries to break it. I want to be the reason her eyes glow with calm instead of worry, with trust instead of doubt. We will share long conversations that stretch into the night. Conversations where our souls finally feel heard. Her laughter will become a melody that stays in my mind even on the darkest days. Her sadness will become a responsibility I embrace, not a burden I fear. I know she is somewhere, breathing under the same sky, unaware of how much she will one day mean to me. Life may be slow, but destiny never forgets two souls meant to meet. And so I wait, not with impatience, but with a heart that prepares itself to love, again stronger, wiser, deeper than before. Sometimes I wonder what her life looks like right now. Is she sitting by a window, watching the evening light fade? Is she laughing with her family, unaware that someone far away is dreaming of her? Or is she too, searching quietly, hoping fate will bring her the man whose heart matches hers? I picture her walking through her days with grace, carrying her own stories of pain and hope. Maybe she has been betrayed before. Maybe she has loved deeply and lost even deeper. Maybe she has cried alone, the way I have, holding her own heart together on the hardest nights. If she has suffered, I pray her sorrow becomes a bridge that leads her gently toward me. I want to meet her when she is ready, not broken, not lost, but blooming again after her storms. I want to offer her a home, inside my soul, a place where she feels safe to be exactly who she is. No pretending, no hiding, no fear of being misunderstood, just honesty, warmth, and the steady heartbeat of a man who truly values her. And someday, when we finally stand face to face, I hope the world falls silent around us. I hope our eyes speak first, recognizing each other before a single word is said. Two wanderers who finally stop wandering. Two hearts that finally stop searching. Two lives that finally begin. The journey toward her feels long, but every step carries a softness, a quiet promise that she is worth the wait. Some days the loneliness grows sharp, but even then, hope rises like a small flame that refuses to die. I tell myself that good things take time, and true love often walks slowly, gently, carefully. Maybe the universe is still shaping our paths, removing the wrong people, clearing the wrong roads. Maybe every delay is protection. Every pause is preparation. I imagine the way her presence will change my days. How mornings will feel warmer with her smile greeting the sunlight. How evenings will feel calmer with her voice settling my tired thoughts. I imagine sharing simple moments with her. A walk under a soft sky. A quiet dinner filled with laughter. A silence that feels comfortable instead of heavy. She will not be my escape from the world. She will be my companion through it. She will not erase my pains. She will help me carry them with gentleness, and I will hold her closer than fear, speak to her softer than regret, protect her deeper than distance. Somewhere out there, she is living her story, unaware that my soul is already making space for her, unaware that her name, unknown to me, already rests softly in the chambers of my heart. And one day, when destiny finally brings her into my life, I will look at her and realize that every empty night before her was simply preparing me to appreciate her presence. There are nights when the silence speaks louder than any voice, telling me that love has its own timing, its own rhythm, its own doorway that only opens when two hearts are finally ready. I sit with the quiet and imagine her warmth, the softness of her presence, filling the empty spaces around me. Maybe she is somewhere feeling the same ache, wondering when life will bring her the man it will stay, who will protect, who will stand with her, even when everything else falls apart. I want to be that man, not perfect, but sincere, not flawless, but faithful, a man who understands the weight of commitment and carries it with honor. I imagine her hands, maybe tired from holding her world alone, and I promise myself that when she places them in mine, I will hold them with a gentleness that she has never known. I will speak to her in a language made of patience. Look at her with eyes that tell her she matters, not just today, but every day forward. She will be my partner, my calm in chaos, my reason to rise every morning with gratitude, and I will be her shield, for comfort, her steady place to return to after every storm. Perhaps she is closer than I think. Perhaps destiny is already weaving our paths together, like two rivers flowing separately, only to meet in the vast ocean of fate, where nothing can keep them apart. And on the day our lives finally collide, I hope the world pauses for a moment, just long enough for us to understand that everything before this meeting was preparation for forever. There are days when the wind feels like it carries her fragrance, a scent I have never known, yet somehow recognize deep within my spirit. It reminds me that connection can exist long before two people ever touch hands. Love begins in the unseen places, in whispers of longing, in waves of hope, in the quiet belief that someone, somewhere, is meant for us. I wonder if she also feels these invisible threads pulling her forward, guiding her gently toward the place where our destinies will finally meet. Maybe she senses a shift in her heart, a soft awakening, a new beginning, waiting just beyond the horizon. I imagine her standing by a balcony at night, the moonlight brushing her face, her eyes filled with a distant thought she cannot explain. Maybe that thought is me, a stranger, yet familiar, a future, yet approaching. I want to be the one who heals the tired corners of her soul, the one who reminds her that love does not always hurt, that devotion can be tender, that loyalty can be warm, that a man can keep his word and still be gentle. When she cries, I want to be the shoulder that holds her without questioning. When she dreams, I want to be the one who protects those dreams fiercely. When she doubts herself, I want to be the voice that says, "You are enough, you are precious, and you will never have to walk alone again." Life has taught me the value of sincerity. Pain has taught me the meaning of patience. Loneliness has taught me how deeply a man can love when he finally finds the right heart. And I will love her deeply, not as a replacement, not as a rescue, but as a choice made with clarity, with devotion, with the full honesty of a soul that has been waiting for her. She is out there, moving closer with every breath of time. And when she arrives, I will thank the universe for every sleepless night, every silent tear, every lonely road, because all of it led me to her. Sometimes I sit beneath the open sky and let my thoughts wander toward the life we will one day share. I imagine small moments, her laughter spilling softly across the room, her footsteps moving gently through our home, her presence turning ordinary days into memories worth keeping. I see her arranging flowers on the table, choosing colors that match the warmth she carries in her heart. I see her brushing away the dust from my tired worries, replacing them with calm, with hope, with the kind of peace only a truly loving woman can give. Maybe she has a habit of talking to herself when she cooks. Maybe she hums softly when she's in a good mood. Maybe she hides her sadness behind a smile, and all she needs is someone who notices the truth behind her eyes. I want to be that someone, the man who understands her without needing explanations, the man who sees her strength even when she feels weak, the man who holds her heart with a tenderness that tells her she is finally safe. We will build a life where trust grows effortlessly, where every disagreement ends with understanding, where every day begins with gratitude. For life where love is not demanded, but offered freely, like sunlight to a flower, like warmth to a cold morning. I imagine us sitting together in the quiet evenings, talking about nothing and everything, sharing stories of our past, laughing at our mistakes, planning a future that belongs only to us. And in those moments, I will look at her and know that all the waiting was worthy, that every heartbreak, every lonely night, every silent prayer was simply preparing me for the love I was meant to give her. She is out there, moving through her days with grace, unaware of how deeply she will be cherished, unaware that destiny is slowly guiding her toward me. And when our paths finally cross, it will feel like the world was always leading us for that single, perfect moment. There are quiet hours when I close my eyes and imagine the first moment I will see her, how the air will shift, how my heartbeat will forget its rhythm and learn a new one shaped by her presence. Maybe she will smile shyly, as if unsure of the future waiting behind my eyes. Maybe she will lower her gaze, the way gentle souls do when fate introduces them to someone they are meant to know. I wonder what her voice will sound like, soft like evening rain, or bright like morning sun, or calm like midnight oceans. Whatever it is, I know it will settle into my heart, as if it had always belonged there. I want to learn the map of her emotions, trace the delicate lines of her joy, understand the hidden corners of her fears. A woman's heart is not a puzzle to solve. It is a garden to care for, a universe to cherish. I imagine giving her the love I once wished someone would give me, a love without conditions, without comparisons, without fear, a love steady enough to hold her storms, and gentle enough to honor her softness. Maybe she has been waiting, thinking that true loyalty no longer exists. Maybe she has doubted love, thinking her heart was too broken to be chosen again. But I will show her that the right man can turn shattered pieces into something more beautiful than before. We will not rush. We will grow, slowly, patiently, like two seeds planted in the same soil, reaching upward, toward the same light. And one day, she will look at me with the certainty of a woman who finally feels safe, finally feels understood, finally feels chosen, replacing them with calm, with hope, with the kind of peace only a truly loving woman can give. Maybe she has a habit of talking to herself when she cooks. Maybe she hums softly when she's in a good mood. Maybe she hides her sadness behind a smile, and all she needs is someone who notices the truth behind her eyes. I want to be that someone, the man who understands her without needing explanations, the man who sees her strength even when she feels weak, the man who holds her heart with a tenderness that tells her she is finally safe. We will build a life where trust grows effortlessly, where every disagreement ends with understanding, where every day begins with gratitude. For life where love is not demanded, but offered freely, like sunlight to a flower, like warmth to a cold morning. I imagine us sitting together in the quiet evenings, talking about nothing and everything, sharing stories of our past, laughing at our mistakes, planning a future that belongs only to us. And in those moments, I will look at her and know that all the waiting was worthy, that every heartbreak, every lonely night, every silent prayer, was simply preparing me for the love I was meant to give her. She is out there, moving through her days with grace, unaware of how deeply she will be cherished, unaware that destiny is slowly guiding her toward me. And when our paths finally cross, it will feel like the world was always leading us for that single, perfect moment. There are quiet hours when I close my eyes and imagine the first moment I will see her, how the air will shift, how my heartbeat will forget its rhythm and learn a new one shaped by her presence. Maybe she will smile shyly, as if unsure of the future waiting behind my eyes. Maybe she will lower her gaze, the way gentle souls do when fate introduces them to someone they are meant to know. I wonder what her voice will sound like. Soft, like evening rain, or bright like morning sun, or calm, like midnight oceans. Whatever it is, I know it will settle into my heart, as if it had always belonged there. I want to learn the map of her emotions, trace the delicate lines of her joy, understand the hidden corners of her fears. A woman's heart is not a puzzle to solve. It is a garden to care for, a universe to cherish. I imagine giving her the love I once wished someone would give me, a love without conditions, without comparisons, without fear, a love steady enough to hold her storms, and gentle enough to honor her softness. Maybe she has been waiting, thinking that true loyalty no longer exists. Maybe she has doubted love, thinking her heart was too broken to be chosen again. But I will show her that the right man can turn shattered pieces into something more beautiful than before. We will not rush. We will grow, slowly, patiently, like two seeds planted in the same soil, reaching upward, toward the same light. And one day, she will look at me with the certainty of a woman who finally feels safe, finally feels understood, finally feels chosen.